Okay, welcome back. Mr. Mohammed, we're talking about some of the points that Dr. Aliyu mentioned earlier, talking about early marriage. We're trying to make a point around that.
Yeah. So, as I was saying before we went on break, early marriage and intergenerational sex are realities in the lives of young people. Also, we have issues of peer pressure to some certain sexual behaviors. Now, the challenge that we have is this. These challenges exist in the lives of young people. They face these challenges and they shape their decisions day in, day out. Some of these decisions are sexual. Some of them are decisions that promote vulnerabilities towards having sex or the way they have sex. Now, when we think about what young people should know in the discussion of comprehensive sexuality education, the first thing that comes to the table when Nigerians are discussing is what's convenient for the parent to know his child knows. And it makes me laugh because this is the child that is faced with these challenges day in, day out, and could be trapped in this tunnel for some time to come. Yet we are thinking about what the parent will be convenient to know that the child knows. If the child only knows what's convenient for the parent and does not respond to these vulnerabilities, we will still be trapped in this. That's one. Then second of all, looking in the area of young people living with HIV. How comprehensive is the knowledge that they have? We have young people living with HIV that were born with HIV. We have the largest number of such reaching adolescence and early adulthood in the last 3 to 5 years. Now, when we have this situation within our hands, it means that we have young people living with HIV who have known nothing about whose sexualities have been suppressed because all they've been taught has been treatment, treatment, treatment. From birth till this point, they are in teenage and early adulthood. Now they are venturing into sex, preparing for their first sexual intercourse, and then life with a sexual partner. How much do they know about the responsibility they share in protecting their partners from HIV transmission? So these are some conversations that we are having with partners and stakeholders to prioritize the role of young people living with HIV in the prevention of new infections.
Main challenge of young people living with HIV in Nigeria.
Can you say that again?
What would you say is the main challenge, for young people living with HIV in Nigeria?
Well, for me, the main challenge for young people living with HIV and AIDS in Nigeria, if we were to pick one, that would be treatment adherence. Now, treatment adherence is one thing that is affected by so many other things. For young people living with HIV to adhere to treatment to get good outcome of that treatment program, we need them to be able to have access to treatment in a way that is friendly for them. We have treatment programs that operate with the adult in mind. We have discussions around treatment that are not so friendly to adolescents. Even the time that people need to go to pick up their drugs are time that conflicts with this adolescent school program. And then we have treatment sites located in places that are far from these adolescents that they need to get money to be able to attend treatment. Yet they get to the facility and then there's a hidden fee to be paid called some form of charges. Some places they call them money for testing. Sometimes they call it money for consultation. But all of these things have an impact in the adolescents and young person's ability to adhere at least for a long time. And if you agree with me about adherence, it is not a one-off thing. It is something that must be sustained if results are to be gotten. So I say adherence to treatment is the single most important and impactful challenge adolescents living with HIV face.
Now, Dr. Aliyu, how easy is it for a young person to be tested for HIV?
Thank you. So, yes, certainly a young person presenting to a HIV testing center should be tested just like any other adult. I believe we've been trying to negotiate bringing down the age of consent. I think at the moment it's around 14 years. I might be either 14 or 15. I'm not 100% certain. I think it's 14 years. So the main challenge really with young people is trying to get them in to be tested rather than whether the centers will actually test them for HIV.
Is it free of charge?
Young people are fast. They're very busy. They have their lives to live. And HIV is very far from their minds. And that's why it's important that we continue to push the issue of awareness and having comprehensive knowledge of HIV. 10, 20 years ago, there was a lot of awareness campaigns going on. Virtually everybody knew about HIV and how to protect themselves. Nowadays, even the media, even the way we transmit information has changed. Young people are a lot more creative, they are more innovative, they access social media. A lot of them don't really sit down like some of us older ones and watch traditional means of communication such as TV or radio. So we need to also change in that respect. We need to be able to access them. We need to be able to find out where they are and be able to send these messages across, which is why a few days ago we had a competition where groups across the country competed for the most innovative programming idea that can be used to reach adolescent and young people, ranging from the use of mobile phones, social media, etc. And this was very, very useful to us because we were then able to interface with the private sector to see whether the private sector might be interested in taking this up. After all, we know that the private sector is very much interested in social media, and young people continue to be a major bulk of our population. The key message, I guess, I want to really push out is HIV is still very much around with us. We don't want young people to be left behind as we move towards tackling the HIV epidemic. If young people are left behind, we will find it very challenging to get rid of the HIV/AIDS epidemic by 2030. It's really essential. And they are a social asset in a way. We have to protect our young ones. We have to make sure that they have the right knowledge required to protect themselves from catching HIV.
Is the test free of charge?
Absolutely. So we have thousands of HIV test centers across the country. We have a fair number of treatment facilities as well. We also run what we call youth-friendly centers in some of the universities, where this is considered to be like a safe space where young people can go, interact, relax, and at the same time be able to access HIV tests. But yes, HIV tests across the country are free unless you choose to pay. But really, you shouldn't be paying for a HIV test. The kits that are brought into the country are brought either by our donors or by the government of Nigeria. We don't bring in HIV test kits to sell commercially.